Welcome back to Alpha Recap. Markets were closed for the day when we recorded this, and we're walking through the biggest threads, from chips to health data, that drove action. As always, if you have questions, you can reach us at stockalpha.ai.
Nice one. Today was kind of a mixed bag, but AI led the tape again, and Asia deal flow was humming in the background. So, what really stands out here is how flows kept rotating around that theme.
Right. Let's start with the headline name. Nvidia led the tape with heavy volume and finished the day up just over 1%. The stock traded about 178 million shares and closed at roughly $184.77. Big liquidity.
Nvidia pretty much remains the thermometer for AI sentiment. I mean, when you step back and look at this, heavy volume and only a modest gain told us institutions and retail were both active, but there wasn't a blowout today.
Right, yeah, that kind of tape suggests rotation into AI exposure without the rally being exhausted. Which connects to the smaller news. Option Circle raised $3 million for an AI-driven trading platform, and Sawmills launched a telemetry product called Mills. These moves fit into that same compute-to-software story.
Exactly. Chip demand fuels new software use cases, which in turn justify more compute. It's a feed-forward loop. So, if you're thinking about exposure, it's worth looking across the stack rather than pinning everything on one name.
Totally. And while we're on trading tape, another active name was a leveraged small cap ETF that popped slightly and traded huge volume. It finished up only about 0.3% at roughly $6.80, but volume was north of about 214 million shares.
That was interesting. Heavy action in inverse or leveraged ETFs usually signals hedging or aggressive directional trading in small caps. Elevated liquidity like that can blow up intraday moves, so traders should pay attention to correlations. Sometimes strength in big AI names like Nvidia can pull money out of small caps and into sector bets.
Short-term traders loved it. Buy and hold investors, not so much. Quick reactions, big tape. Not what everyone expected.
Yeah, absolutely.
Moving to capital markets. Morgan Stanley was hiring contract staff in Hong Kong to handle a surge of deals.
Right, contract hires are a sensible, low-friction way to scale during a deal wave. It signals deal activity, maybe more equity-linked issuance or IPOs, but hire announcements are demand signals, not guaranteed fee growth. Investors should watch for actual deal filings and fee disclosures to see whether this is durable.
Exactly. It's a watch the data situation. If it's sustained, banks with Asia coverage could see a lift in investment banking revenue. If it fades, it was just a one-off staffing push.
And it's worth noting the operational pattern here. Firms scaling with flexible labour rather than permanent hires. That keeps fixed costs down while chasing windows of opportunity.
Let's turn to startups and product launches. Option Circle's $3 million raise was aimed at an autonomous, regime-based trading platform. Sawmills launched a platform called Mills. They're billing it as the first agentic telemetry management solution. And Hike named Olga Troiano as COO to scale benefits engagement tech.
Quick explainer. Agentic telemetry sounds fancy, but it really means software that doesn't just collect data, it acts on it. It automates observability tasks from development pipelines into production. That matters because observability costs are ballooning as systems scale.
And with Option Circle, think of AI-driven trading as software making execution decisions based on changing market regimes. Faster, adaptive execution for quant teams. These are early-stage plays, but the path to enterprise-like recurring revenue is clear if they land pilots or named customers.
So, what's to watch there? Customer wins, integration partners, pricing, and pilot metrics. Those are the clearest signs these launches will convert to real commercial momentum.
On to health data and privacy. Archimedes and Woodway Assurance announced that EV data will be integrated into Archimedes' National Canadian Health Data Platform. No financial terms were disclosed, but the partnership is backed by serious research institutions, including the University of Ottawa Heart Institute and McGill.
That was a quiet but potentially important move. Bringing health data into a national privacy-forward platform could speed up secure analytics adoption across provincial systems. For vendors that help unlock and analyze that data, this matters a lot.
Investors tracking digital health should watch integration milestones, pilot outcomes, and any provincial procurement announcements. Those will determine whether vendors can actually monetize access to broader datasets.
Hike's COO hire ties into that theme too. Benefits tech that helps employees make smarter health and financial decisions sits right at the intersection of employer services and health data. There's potential for partnerships and consolidation if these models scale.
A quick legal and analyst checkpoint. Faruqi and Faruqi reminded investors in RigTech Robotics about an April 3, 2026 filing deadline for a securities class action related to purchases made late January. That can distract management and spur volatility.
If you bought the stock in that window, it's worth evaluating options with counsel. Legal timelines can create headline risk, even if the underlying business is unchanged.
And on the analyst front, D.A. Davidson kept a neutral rating on YEX with a $6 price target. Maintenance of a neutral usually means no new catalyst on the horizon. Not exciting, but also not a sell signal by itself.
Neutral means watch for fresh operational beats or guidance to change the story.
Retail signal time. Google Trends showed searches for Costco gas prices spiked to about 20,000 searches, an increase of roughly 800%.
People love a cheap fill-up. That kind of search spike can be an early indicator of foot traffic and membership interest. If it sticks, that could show up in regional same-store sales or membership behavior for Costco.
Actionable angle. Traders could monitor regional foot traffic and same-store sales reports to see if the search trend maps into real retail activity.
Quick rapid-fire recap. Option Circle. $3 million seed. Sawmills launched Mills. Hike hired a new COO. Leveraged ETF tape was active. Nvidia-led with heavy volume. Archimedes integrated EV data. Legal deadline for RigTech. Yext stayed neutral. Short and sweet.
Patterns popping out of today's flow. 1. AI stack momentum. Chips and software remain the dominant organizing theme. 2. Operational scaling without permanent overhead. Contract staff and targeted hires. 3. Data and privacy as differentiators in healthcare and benefits. 4. Elevated tape activity. Lots of volume means more short-term volatility.
Yeah, that tracks. For investors, that translates to two thoughts. Consider exposure across the compute to application spectrum, and keep an eye on adoption signals, customer wins, pilots, and named contracts, not just press releases.
What to watch next? How Nvidia's price and volume behave into the next session. Whether Morgan Stanley follows up with deal announcements out of Hong Kong. Any customer or partner news from Sawmills and Option Circle. Archimedes pilot updates, Costco traffic and regional comps, legal filings for RigTech, and any change in Yext's operational story.
Honestly, I was a bit surprised by how much background activity there was in Asia and in niche product launches. It felt like a mix of big flow leadership and quiet operational reshaping.
Final takeaways. Flows mattered. AI led the tape and heavy volume told the story. Operational moves were subtle but strategic. Contract hires and integrations that can pay off over time. And data, privacy moves in healthcare are ones you want on your radar for the medium term.
Short reactions. Big tape. Watch customer wins. Stay disciplined.
If you want to dig deeper or ask about any ticker, deal, or product we mention, head to stockalpha.ai, where you can ask us directly and we'll answer live. For more market analysis and insights, visit stockalpha.ai. Thanks for listening to Alpha Recap.
Cheers. Catch you next time.